This meeting is being recorded and audio streamed via the Council website and social media. Good afternoon, councillors, staff and members of the public. Please be upstanding for the Mayor, Councillor Straub.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. The Council's opening affirmation is: we, the councillors of Loddon Shire, declare that we will carry out our duties in the best interests of our community and through collective leadership will maintain the highest standards of good governance.
The Loddon Shire Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land upon which we are gathered and pays its respects to elders both past and present. Please be seated.
Thank you very much, Mr Fitzgerald, and welcome councillors and welcome to our Loddon directors and to all who are watching this live stream on your computers around some part of Loddon Shire. We've got a little bit to cover today. There's a number of items on our agenda that we'll get to shortly, but first I would like to call for any apologies, noting we have Councillor Holt who is unable to be with us today, and I would like to move that Councillor Holt be granted a leave of absence. I'm seeking a motion to that effect, if I could please. Thank you, Councillor Weaver. Is there a councillor prepared to second? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. A show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Just to repeat, we have moved a motion that Councillor Holt be granted a leave of absence. Is there any conflicts of interest to declare? Any agenda items via councillors today? No? Excellent. Thank you very much. We will move on to our previous minutes. 5.1, I'll take those minutes as read. Put out an opportunity if there's any questions, queries or comments regarding those minutes. If not, I will ask if there's a councillor prepared to move that those minutes be true and correct. Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor to second. Councillor Wilson, thank you very much. Show of hands in favour. And they are carried. Moving along to 6.1, the record of Council's auspice meetings. Mr Fitzgerald, please.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. Councillors, attached to this report is a summary provided in accordance with Rule 35 of Council's Governance Rules and obviously the Local Government Act. The record includes a record of which councillors and officers attended, any conflicts of interest which were disclosed and anyone who left the meeting, as well as a summary of the matters considered which are detailed in there. The recommendation of the report is that Council confirm the records of the following auspiced meetings as detailed within this report. 1, the Council briefing held 26 August 2025 and 2, the Council forum held 9 September 2025. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. Councillors, any questions at this point regarding those auspice meetings? I'll ask for a councillor to move a motion, please. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor to second, Councillor Weaver. A show of hands in favour, and that is carried. 7.1, review of actions. Mr Fitzgerald, please.
Thank you again, Mayor Straub. A document containing the status of actions associated with Council resolutions is attached to this agenda report. Pleasingly, once again, no outstanding actions were outstanding from prior to August, and all 8 actions from the August Council meeting resolutions have been completed. 2 of the actions arising from the 1 September Council Special Council meeting resolutions have also been completed. The recommendation is that Council receive and note the status of Council resolution actions as attached to this report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. Councillors, we've been able to read and review those action sheets. Is there any comments, questions, queries? Is there a councillor prepared to move a motion? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor to second. Councillor Wilson, thank you very much. Show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move on to our reports, and first report is 8.1. I'll deliver my verbal mayoral report. It has been a pretty busy September, filled lots of local sport and excitement. I'll get to that shortly. But starting the month, it was a great honour to be invited and attend the Loddon Valley Football Netball League Gala Dinner. A gala dinner that was held in Bendigo, but all clubs were represented, and it was great to see all the award winners there on the night to receive their commendations, their medals, their trophies. There was a number of local individuals representing their clubs. We had Lockie Sharp from the Bridgewater Football Netball Club winning the league best and fairest. That was a great result for Bridgewater, and a great result for the Loddon Valley Football Netball League to have such calibre athletes competing in our local sports. That was a great night, but followed up by an equally great day following on Tuesday the 2nd. I started my morning off with a trip to Bendigo to meet with our Bendigo Council counterparts to celebrate and launch the Bendigo Loddon Bloom Festival. Or the Bloom campaign. This was an initiative that Loddon's been working on for a long time now to have a collaboration with Bendigo City Council and really showcase and celebrate both Bendigo respectfully and what they do with their Bloom Festival, but really progress and platform our Loddon Arts Festival, previously known as the Loddon Valley Arts Trail. We're now incorporating that as the Loddon Valley Arts Festival, and there is a number of things happening over the month of October that we can all look forward to engaging with and celebrating. That was great to do that and get that recognition and that media on that campaign launch in the main main street of Bendigo on the morning of the 2nd, and that was followed by a great day at Bridgewater, which no doubt our councillors will touch on later, and I'll leave the bulk of the explanation from our Inglewood Councillor Wilson to explain, but it was a great day to celebrate the Melbourne Cup Tour in Bridgewater. It was a great day to celebrate with community and to see such a significant cup and celebration come to a small country town as it has in the past. That was great. On Wednesday the 3rd, myself and CEO Mr Fitzgerald, along with our Executive Officer of the Murray River Group of Councils, travelled to Canberra to meet with the Federal Water Minister, Minister Murray Watt. That was a key meeting that we'd been seeking for a number of months now, and was successful in travelling to Canberra to sit down for a great positive conversation meeting. It was somewhat of an interview, holding the Minister to account for some of the decisions the federal government have made around Murray-Darling Basin. There's a lot more to come out of this space. I think I have touched on it in a couple of reports since, but I wanted to mention that today there is some progress happening in that Murray-Darling Basin conversation, and Loddon, along with the Murray River Group, has really been leading the way for the irrigators of Victoria, but also taking into account the environmental impacts and trying to get the best outcomes we can in that respect as well. A lot more to say on that, and I'll touch on a bit more on that in coming weeks with some other meetings coming up on that topic. We also took the opportunity in Canberra to meet with one of the Federal Childcare Minister's advisors, Minister Jessie Walsh. we met with her key advisor regarding childcare across Loddon, and we wanted to confirm the announced $5 million bucket of money announced over the federal election campaign. We wanted to make sure that that was a real bucket of money and that was going to be spent in Loddon. That was something that we were successful in negotiating. That was something that we wanted to confirm, and we did that successfully, and we reported that back, that that is a real bucket of money, and the federal government are working on those childcare parameters with conversations across another 16 odd jobs, but Loddon is on the top of that list. So we will look at how that conversation unfolds and make sure that we're getting the best opportunities in the childcare space across Loddon where they're most needed. Moving along, we've got the 9th of September Council Forum. If anyone was paying attention, Council held a special meeting that day to put out our community plan and our 10-year financial plan for public consultation. Please, those documents are still on public consultation parameters. We're still seeking as much feedback as possible. We'll be deliberating on those in the coming months. Touching on a meeting held on Friday the 12th, the Loddon Campaspe Group of Councils. Loddon has been a member of the Loddon Campaspe Group of Councils for a number of years now. Conducted by Bendigo. We met at the Gov Hub in Bendigo. It was a great opportunity to meet with our partner councils in that group, but also to have representatives from DECA, from the Department of Transport and Planning, and from the Regional Development Victoria, where we can directly ask questions about progress regarding DECA, Department of Transport, RDV. We've got a bit of an open forum there to have an open conversation on projects and future projects, monetary constraints, and where we can get our best opportunities delivered across the regions. We also had the opportunity to meet with the Shadow Minister for Local Government, Western Victorian Upper House member Bev MacArthur. She streamed in online along with Peter Walsh, member for Murray Plains, and also Wendy Lovell, member for Northern Victoria. That was great to have the opportunity to sit down with those MPs representing us here in the regions and to talk around, we'll have an open discussion around a lot of topics, but a lot of focus on the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund. There'll be more to come out of the Loddon Campaspe Group of Councils in the coming months. There is some work still being done on some advocacy platforms to continue our fight against the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund. I'm going to just finish today's report on a meeting that I was involved in last Friday in Echuca. Many may remember the report that the Victorian government had developed a IDC, a interdepartmental committee directed by the Premier to look at the Murray-Darling Basin Plan from Victoria's point of view. Again, Murray River Group has been a key partner in that, and Loddon, along with our partner councils, met with the IDC last Friday in Echuca to talk about future community funding arrangements and what that might look like and how that structure of the funding arrangements may look as we move forward with this next 12 months of the plan. As we know, the Murray-Darling Basin Plan will, as it currently states, will come to fruition in 2026, and there is still a lot more of considerations and constraints we would like to talk through, mitigate, and advocate on in that time. But this opportunity was to talk about some significant funding arrangements and how that might be rolled out across the regions. One thing that we've always been strong and consistent on is we want a ground-up approach, and local government is best situated to provide that that conduit between the people that need it most. I can't report too much on future meetings, but out of that meeting on Friday, we've actually been invited to meet with the Victorian Water Minister, Minister Teeny, this Thursday. So I'll report back in our October meeting on how that meeting with the Minister went, but you can be reassured that our message is still very straightforward, consistent, and has a strong emphasis on community and the sustainability of agriculture. I'm going to leave that there. There is much to talk about, but I've said enough for this report, and I would be seeking a councillor prepared to move my mayoral report be delivered today. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. A councillor to second. Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Show of hands in favour. And that is carried. Thank you very much, councillors. We'll move straight into our council law reports, 9.1, and I'm going to ask Councillor Angelo if you'd like to start today, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, on the 2nd of September, I also attended the gala, the Melbourne Cup Gala in Bridgewater. What an absolute cracker of a night. I'll take my hat off to everyone involved in that for sure. Look forward to the next one. On the 3rd of September, I attended a community planning meeting in Kingawa. On the 7th of September, the grand final in Newbridge. What a day. Just, the place was chock-a-block, brilliant facilities, and yeah, just what a great day. What else? Nothing else there. Yeah, don't forget about the Australia Day nominations. How to commend your local volunteers and put them in the nominations. That's still open until the 24th of October at 4 p.m. So make sure you support the community that supports you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Angelo. I'll go to Councillor Weaver.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it was the 2nd, I also attended with my wife the Melbourne Cup dinner in Bridgewater, and top night, very well run, and I thank Councillor Wilson for her hospitality and the invitation that she gave out to us to attend it. It was a top night. I've also attended the North Central Football League Grand Final in Wedderburn. Donaldson Park with their new facilities was in all its splendour, and the Wedderburn Football Club should be commended on running a top event. Record gate and just very well done. I also attended the Bort Park meeting on the 18th of September. And the only other thing I've got to add is Saturday the 11th of October is the Bort Show, the only agricultural show still going in the Shire, and I urge you all to attend. There'll be something there for everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Weaver. And today I'll finish with Councillor Wilson and look forward to the report and some great projects that have been happening around your ward.
It's been a very busy month since the last council meeting. 28th of August, the Inglewood Development Tourism Committee meeting. The 31st of August, the Inglewood Rec Reserve Annual General Meeting with the re-election of officers at that meeting. I then stood in for Councillor Holt at the Audit and Risk Committee meeting for the council on the 1st of September. I then also had the opportunity to be engaged as a stakeholder, I suppose, in the Inglewood Bridgewater Structure Plan, which is a fascinating, really interesting project that's been undertaken, which will be coming out to the community for consultation, and I would urge community members to participate in that. And that's going to be about what the future of Inglewood and Bridgewater look like in really future years, and I think it's a really exciting initiative the council's got going on there. As my colleagues have said, the 2nd of September saw the Melbourne Cup visit to Bridgewater. What a day it was. The Rec Reserve, with all the school children at the Rec Reserve, fashions on the field, it was great fun. All the school children made hobby horses and then had hobby horse races. It was just terrific, and Loddon Shire donated icy poles to all the children, which was very exciting for them. It was a freezing cold day, but anyway. And the evening was a great success, with lots of community members participating in the fashion on the fields and auctions and prizes, and just a terrific night had by all. And I was just so excited that we had a council table there, and the community got to see the council as a group socialising, which was great fun, and we didn't shame ourselves in any way as a group. On the 3rd of September, I went to the first meeting as my delegate for the Calder Highway meeting, which happened at Bringbank Council, which is in Sunshine. Very interesting. That committee hasn't met this term. It's made up of 9 councils, 3 metropolitan and 6 rural councils, and it's about advocacy for the Calder Highway. And projects going on. We have a number of projects in Loddon that are in planning or underway along the Calder Highway, which is a bit of a watch this space to see what's going on. The 9th was the special council meeting. The 10th was the community reference group on the plan. The 11th and the 4th, I was part of the council group in the Not In Our Name Emergency Services Volunteer Levy group of councillors forming advocacy pieces to take to government. And on the 14th, I was on tractor to join CFA volunteers in the protest at Bendigo against the Emergency Services Volunteer Levy. And on the 18th of September, Bridgewater on Loddon Development, which was a debrief on the Cup Day, which everybody declared a great success. So it's been a busy month. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. It has been a busy month, and I know both Councillor Angelo and Councillor Weaver touched on the Loddon Valley and the North Central Grand Finals, football netball Grand Finals. Before we close out the council report, so I just wanted to thank the host clubs for their efforts on the day. Both Newbridge, what a tremendous effort, record we believe there. The facility was very well presented, and the Newbridge Football Netball Club done a great job hosting that grand final. They should be very proud of themselves, and we are very proud and thankful for them. Likewise, the North Central Football Netball Hockey Grand Final, hosted by the Wedderburn Redbacks here in Wedderburn. A great effort done by the committee, by the Football Netball Hockey Club, showcased the facility and the town at its best. With what I believe another record crowd. So we try and take those opportunities to really thank and celebrate our great volunteers across Loddon, and we know that sport is a huge importance to Loddon Shire and importance to this council. So thank you for those efforts on those 2 very special days, showcasing some of the best athletes and sporting codes that we have here in rural Victoria. Councillors, we've delivered our reports. Is there a councillor prepared to move that those councillor reports be tabled? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor to second. Thank you, Councillor Weaver. A show of hands in favour, and they are carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move on to the main body of our agenda today, and we've got 5 decision reports today, councillors. And I'm going to start with 10.1, our procurement policy, and ask Director Steadman to please deliver the recommendation along with the report attached. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Stroll. Councillors, this report presents recommended revisions to Council's procurement policy, for which there's a requirement under the Local Government Act 2020 that Council review during the term of Council. This review was informed by recent internal audit recommendations and with consultation of organisational teams, and has also been endorsed by the Audit and Risk, Loddon Shire's Audit and Risk Committee. Key changes from our previous policy include improved clarity to emergency procurement activities during declared emergency events, a tiered approach to activities under panel contract structures, and a tiered approach, There has also been a lowering of the thresholds for public tender and revisions to conditions regarding cumulative spends during procurement. Councillors, version 13 of this policy strengthens governance, clarity and procurement outcomes in Council's purchasing activities, and as such the recommendation with you today is that Council adopt the procurement policy version 13. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Director Steadman. Councillors, any questions, comments, queries at this stage? If not, I'll ask for a councillor prepared to move a motion. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor prepared to second. Thank you, Councillor Weaver. Councillor Wilson, opportunity to speak to your motion.
I don't know how exciting procurement processes are for most people, but it is an important policy, and this is a very robust policy. And it's good that we've got it as our policy and our safety net about how we approach procurement. And I think it should give our community a good level of assurance about how we as a local government go about purchasing, which is very responsible and takes in a range of considerations that are important for a local government to do. So I really commend it. It's good.
Councillor Weaver.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Councillor Wilson's covered it very well.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there any other councillor wishing to speak for or against? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour. And that is carried. Thank you very much. 10.2, our Community Planning Committee formal recognition of Campbell's Forest. And I'll ask Director Gladman, please, to take us through the report and recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillors, this report is to bring forward our recommendation to recognise the Campbell's Forest Progress Association, and as a community planning committee. The previous Campbell's Forest and District Community Action Planning Group Incorporated, which was recognised by Council, has since disbanded, and the community in Campbell's Forest at that time was unrepresented. So a group has come together. They've become an incorporated body. They've included community planning within the purpose of their constitution, and they maintain a membership structure that enables broad community participation. This means that they're now formally eligible to request Council's consideration to be identified as the community planning group for that area. So the report includes information around the disbanding of the previous group, the de-incorporation, and then the information that's come forth from that group, and the letter to request recognition from Council. Their intention is to use the existing community plan as their work plan at this point, but to review that in the near future as well, to update that. So the recommendation before Council is that Council formally recognise the Campbell's Forest Progress Association Incorporated as the Community Planning Committee for the Campbell's Forest, Yarraburb and District Community.
Thank you, Director Gladman. Councillors, any late questions? If not, I'll ask Council prepared to move a motion. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor to second. Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor Wilson, opportunity to speak.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Angelo, would you like the opportunity to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think these groups are community planning. I think it's a big plus for every community to have and to be involved. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor wishing to speak for or against? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Thank you. 10.3, investment policy. Director Steadman, please.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. This report, councillors, brings to you the Investment Policy version 6, which outlines a policy position for council to consider on the effective and responsible investment of council's financial investments. This policy brings in a number of clarifying points to the policy, to the previous policy, to ensure that avenues for investment are clear, competitive and transparent to council and the community, and that investment risk is appropriate. Councillors, the recommendation with you for this report is that council adopt the Investment Policy version 6. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Director Steadman. Councillors, any questions, queries or comments before we move a motion to the effect? Is there a councillor prepared to move? I think I seen Councillor Angelo, then Councillor Wilson to second. Thank you very much. Councillor Angelo, you've got opportunity to speak in favour if you'd like.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Wilson? No. No other councillor wishing to speak for or against? A show of hands in favour? And that also is carried. Thank you very much. 10.4, the Pyramid Hill Progress Association fee waiver application. And I'll invite Director Van Orso to please deliver the report and recommendation.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. This report seeks Council's consideration of a request to waive the planning permit fee associated with the establishment of the Finders Keepers Op Shop, a new community enterprise proposed by the Pyramid Hill Progress Association. The project is a locally driven initiative aimed at raising funds for future community projects, encouraging reuse and recycling, and fostering greater community engagement. The request aligns with Council's fees and charges waiver or reduction policy, which supports activities that will result in community benefit. The recommendation before you is that Council grant a fee waiver to the Pyramid Hill Progress Association for the planning permit application cost of $1,496.10, opening of a community enterprise Finders Keepers Op Shop. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Director. Councillors, any questions, queries or comments before we seek a motion? Councillor prepared to move a motion. Thank you, Councillor Weaver. Councillor to second. Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor Weaver, opportunity to speak.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Angelo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Some of my favourite words right there: recycling, repurposing, less landfill. Yeah, I think this is an initiative that all communities could get behind and set up to generate funds for their community. But look at the other aspect of what they're doing for less landfill. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor wishing to speak for or against? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Thank you very much. Just before we move on, I do concur with Councillor Angelo's words. It is a great opportunity for the Pyramid Hill community to participate in some recycling, repurposing, and this is a great addition for a bigger furniture, hardware type arrangement to complement their already existing op shop in the community that's run by community volunteers as well, supported by the Progress Association. So, great initiative, and hope we see more of those into the future. 10.5, our internal resolution procedure. Director Steadman, please. Recommendation and a report and a recommendation to follow.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. Councillors, this report outlines a procedure related to internal resolution procedures for an event where a councillor or group of councillors allege there's been a breach of the Model Councillor Code of Conduct. The procedure sets out the way in which the parties involved can work together to resolve a dispute, and due to its exclusion it's required under the Local Governance and Integrity Regulations 2020. It's excluded from the Code of Conduct, apologies. Further to this procedure, it's acknowledged that the Local Government Act 2020 sets out further external dispute resolution activities beyond this procedure should it not achieve the desired objective. The recommendation, councillors, which I have noted is missing a word in the agenda, but the recommendation is formally that council adopt the internal resolution procedure version 1 as attached to this agenda report. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Director Steadman. Councillors, we're all across the recommendation. Just a very simple change there to add councillor or get council in that sentence. Any late questions, comments or queries? I'll ask, if not, a councillor prepared to move a motion to the effect. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor to second. I think I just seen Councillor Weaver's hand first. Thank you very much. Councillor Wilson, opportunity to speak if you'd like. Councillor Weaver. Any other councillor wishing to speak? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Thank you very much, councillors. That concludes our decision reports. Now we'll move on to information reports, and we have 2 information reports today. And our first one, 11.1, it's always an exciting report to look at, is our Loddon Swimming Pool End of Seasons Report 2024-25. And I'll ask Director Gladman if you'd like to take us through the report and the recommendation.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Councillors, I'm pleased to provide an overview of the Loddon Swimming Pool's 2024-25 season. This year, for the first time, the pools benefited from the support of Inglewood and District Community Bank, contributing $11,478, and Belgravia Leisure providing $3,806 to fund a program of discounted entry and half-price memberships across the pools. This initiative helped to ensure that more community members accessed the pools during the season. The pools operated for 95.6% of the scheduled days, an improvement on last year, despite just a few minor weather-related closures. Early morning swims continue to attract strong community participation across all venues. 12 community events were held, including movie nights, pool parties and aqua aerobics programs. These activities highlight the role that the pools play during the summer as hubs for recreation, social connection and community wellbeing. Attendance increased by 18% from just under 15,000 visits last season to over 17,500 this year, demonstrating the strong impact of the sponsorship initiative. While the total expenditure across all 5 pools reached $833,116, the average cost per entry remained stable at $47.56, demonstrating the value the community receives from council for these facilities. Beyond the numbers, the pools provide safe, supervised spaces for swimming. They encourage active and healthy lifestyles. They offer inclusive environments for people of all ages. These outcomes align with Council's plan and the Recreation, Open Space and Aquatic Strategy, which guides the development, maintenance and future planning of aquatic facilities. Looking ahead though, we're mindful of the risks associated with our ageing infrastructure, rising costs and increasing regulatory requirements. While we didn't experience any major failures this season, some of these factors will inform the upcoming Aquatic Services Review to ensure that our service remains sustainable and continues to meet our community's needs. Councillors, the recommendation is that Council receive and note the Loddon Swimming Pool's End of Season Report 2024-25 and acknowledge the financial contributions from Inglewood and District Community Bank and Belgravia Leisure to the 24-25 Subsidised Membership Entry Initiative, which enhanced community access to Loddon's swimming pools.
Thank you, Director Gladman. Councillors, we've read the report. It's great to have these reports delivered each year. And before we move on, I'd just like to say a big thank you to the Inglewood and District Community Bank and Belgravia for their support in helping community members access our pools at a subsidised rate to help that visitation and to help health and wellbeing as much as anything. Councillors, is there any questions, queries or comments regarding that report? We've had a good chance to look through. Councillor Wilson?
Yes, I'll play devil's advocate on this one. Whilst it is fantastic to see this report, we have got some significant risks to face around the aquatic strategy in the future. So I note a service review is something that we're going to have to do, especially when we've got things where we've got capital investment that's going to be required because some of these facilities or the infrastructure is up to 70 years old. And the reality is that if one of these pools fails, there's going to need to be a very serious conversation about the investment that's going to be needed to be made to bring that back online. And I think it's important that the community understand that these are the sorts of things that councillors face decisions about, but also that the community really needs to understand the risks associated with these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. In saying that, any councillor prepared to move a motion to that effect? Thank you. I've seen Councillor Angelo's hand up first, but Councillor Wilson happy to second? Great. Thank you. Councillor Angelo, I'll give you the opportunity to speak further to the recommend of the motion if you'd like.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And again, Councillor Wilson, you get the same opportunity. Councillor Weaver.
Yeah, I'd just like to, say how wonderful it is that the patronage was up 18% on our pools. And yes, we have got some worrying times ahead with maintenance costs. But in our area, that's a floodplain with lakes and rivers. If we've got these community pools where kids can learn to swim properly, I think it's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Weaver. It is very important in that safety aspect, that's for sure. Thank you, councillors. I'll ask for a show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Excuse me. Now, next information report today is 11.2, our flood restoration progress update. And I'll ask, please, Director Van also to take us through the report, the update, and then there's a recommendation to note the progress to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. This report provides Council a summary of the flood restoration program, noting the achievements over the past 12 months, following the significant flood events of October 22 and 2023-24. Council has worked diligently with state and federal agencies to deliver a complex and large-scale recovery effort across Loddon Shire. It is pleasing to report that Council has secured over $21 million in approved works packages under the Restoration of Essential Public Assets program, with design and tender processes now well advanced. The team has successfully delivered multiple smaller schedule of rates packages and is now transitioning to larger lump sum contracts. The dedication of Council's flood recovery team has been instrumental in navigating complex funding arrangements, managing claims and preparing for large-scale infrastructure delivery to restore essential assets. This has secured 38 asset restoration approvals and $9.7 million in disaster recover funding arrangement advances, while fostering strong collaboration, particularly with the Department of Transport and Planning and the Natural Disaster Financial Assistance team. Strategic planning has also progressed with a focus on betterment funding and improved infrastructure data capture system. The Loddon Shire's 2025-26 road infrastructure program totals $33.3 million, funded by $22 million from state and Commonwealth disaster recovery funding arrangement grants, $5.3 million from Council's annual infrastructure program, and $6 million for road maintenance. These works aim to improve road performance and is expected to positively impact community satisfaction. The recommendation before you is that Council receive and note the 2025 flood recovery update. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Director Van Orso. Councillors, is there any questions, queries or comments? We've had a good look at this report earlier today with a great presentation, and we always like to look at the figures. Is there second? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor Weaver, would you like to speak to the motion?
Obviously it's a very big spend on roads and infrastructure, but I'd just like to commend Mr. Van Orso, and his team on the good work they're doing. And, very well done.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Angelo?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There's some big figures in this document. There's been a lot of progress made. I'm probably going to ask for a show of hands in favour before I comment, and that looks like that is carried. But before I closed out, I just wanted to mention that this has been a drawn-out uphill progress from the very start over a number of years to get finally to this last 12 months to deliver some fairly significant packages. And we know the constraints and considerations that our departments and the team have been working with. I just wanted to pick a figure out of the document in front of us when we're looking at that table 1, the flood recovery program data. The total package in this data showing out of $4.9 million worth of works, it shows the level of nitpickiness from the state government to reject $26,000 of it. It's kind of, difficult when we've seen earlier in our reports that the figures that were requested via council have to go down to literally $4.60 within $400,000. That has to be that nitpicky and critiqued that much over 3 levels or 3 tiers of approval process, and you can see why councils have struggled and this has gotten very wayward, delayed over a number of years. But we really appreciate the council's effort to get to this point and to keep moving forward, and we hope that we can get this delivery done in a timely manner. Thank you. Right, we've got one more item today. Yes, one more item, and we have a compliance report, 12.1, our Audit and Risk Committee update, and I'll ask Director Steadman if you would like to please deliver the recommendation and the updated report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. Councillors, for your receipt and noting today is a summary of the most recent meeting of Loddon Shire Council Audit and Risk Committee of the Audit. Apologies, I'm mixing my words today. The Loddon Shire Council Audit and Risk Committee, along with the results of the committee's annual performance assessment as required by the Loddon Shire Audit and Risk Committee Charter. The committee considered at its meeting internal and external audit reports and programming, the draft financial plan for 2025-26 to 2034-35, which is currently out for community feedback. They also considered key policies and reports. The report also outlines the results of the committee's annual performance assessment, where a number of actions were identified for continuous improvement of the committee's effectiveness, along with noting a number of areas of strength of the committee. Councillors, the recommendation with you today is that Council receives and notes the summary of the Audit and Risk Committee meeting 1 September 2025 and the Audit and Risk Committee Annual Performance Assessment Report 24-25 update. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Director Steadman. Councillors, we've had a look at the report, the update. Is there any questions before we ask for a mover? Is there a councillor prepared to move? Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor prepared to second? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillor Wilson, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Angelo?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
No? No other councillor wishing to speak? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour. That is carried. All right, thank you, councillors. We've got through that agenda today. There is no urgent business, so there's no business of an urgent matter to attend to today. And likewise, there is no confidential items today for consideration. So, as council has addressed all items on today's agenda, I can now declare today's meeting closed at 3:50 p.m. Thank you very much, councillors. Thank you very much to the directors and the staff, and thank you very much to all the community members that have showed an interest in council matters. And the live stream will cease shortly.